excited. I think, obviously our goal of reaching the playoffs last year we accomplished, but now, we want to be a championship contender. I think we're putting in the pieces to be able to do that, hopefully add some free agents, and you can just feel the excitement in the whole organization and in the city, our fans. So honestly, I can't wait to get back out there. I wish we had a game tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah. Remember when the Indiana Fever won just 5 games 2 seasons ago? Well, things quickly changed in a span of a couple of years. Their generational player, Caitlin Clark, asked for star power, and the Fever's new front office just answered with a thunderous slam dunk.
Quick thoughts on the $80 million Fever facility and Stephanie White being like, we're going to be aggressive in free agency, and massive names who are available. And I think, this is my bold prediction, the Indiana Fever are going to be playing for the WNBA title next year. Wow. They have their cornerstone pieces under rookie contracts.
In a move that sent shockwaves through the WNBA, Indiana has signed not 1, not 2, but 3 star players. This isn't just a rebuild anymore. It's a full-blown basketball revolution, catapulting the Fever into instant title favorites. Want to know who these game-changing players are and how they fit into Indiana's master plan? This isn't just a roster upgrade. It's a complete transformation that's left the rest of the WNBA scrambling. Are you ready? Let's go.
There are big-name veteran pieces that the Fever have money to go get to put them in position to be playing for a WNBA title. That's my bold prediction.
Let's rewind to the days when the Indiana Fever were the laughingstock of the WNBA. It wasn't that long ago. Just 2 seasons back, they hit rock bottom with a measly 5 wins. It seemed like they were stuck in a never-ending cycle of losing. But then, something changed. The Fever started making moves that turned heads across the league.
We felt this way to begin with, that the Fever were going to be a destination because you have Caitlin Clark, you have Aaliyah Boston, and you have a really, really young team. And I think now with Steph White, who is hands down one of the best coaches in the league, and we saw that with Connecticut, even though they fell a little bit short, I think that, this is going to be big. And
first, they drafted Aaliyah Boston with the first overall pick in 2023. A generational center in her own right. Yet, the Fever still ended up with a measly 13-win, 27-loss record. With the first overall pick in 2024, they selected Caitlin Clark, the once-in-a-lifetime phenom who took the WNBA by storm over the past year. Her impact was immediate and electrifying. She averaged 19.2 points per game in her first season and broke 62 records along the way, showcasing her ability to score and make plays like a seasoned pro. But even a generational talent like Clark couldn't do it alone. She needed help.
Are you in a position where you can add some pieces?
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position. And I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
That's where the Fever's core of Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull came in. As they started to gel, suddenly the Fever weren't pushovers anymore. Teams couldn't just walk into Indiana expecting an easy win. These young stars were hungry, and they were ready to prove themselves. Last season, they shocked everyone by clawing their way into the playoffs with a 20-win, 20-loss record. It was a huge step forward, marking their first playoff appearance in almost a decade. But for Caitlin Clark, it wasn't enough. She wanted more. She knew the Fever had the potential to be great, not just good.
I see a lot of players wanting to go, in this offseason, a lot of players are going to want to go to the Fever.
So what did Clark do? She went straight to the front office and asked for quality free agents. And let me tell you, the new management team of President Kelly Krauskopf and GM Amber Cox didn't just listen. They delivered big time. The Fever had 4 main priorities this offseason. First, they needed to re-sign Kelsey Mitchell at all costs. She'd been the heart and soul of the team over the past 7 years, averaging 19.2 points per game last season. Second, they wanted versatile wings who could score and defend, giving Clark and Mitchell some extra firepower. Third, they needed to shore up the forward position with size and defensive-minded players who could run the floor and score when needed. And finally, they were looking for a backup guard to run the offense when Clark or Mitchell needed a breather.
Building quality depth is going to be important. When you have a core 3 like we have, surrounding them with players who are going to, fill the roles, certainly, first and foremost, who are going to embrace the roles, secondly, and who give us the best opportunities for success by complementing what they do really, really well.
Now, the stage is set for a transformation that's about to shake the WNBA to its core. the Fever aren't just looking to make the playoffs again. They're aiming for the top. With Clark setting the WNBA rookie assist record, showcasing her dual threat capability as both a scorer and facilitator, the pieces are falling into place for something truly special in Indiana. So who are these three perfect signings? The Fever's front office promised Caitlin Clark they'd bring in top talent. And boy, did they deliver. Let's talk about the masterstroke that sent shockwaves through the WNBA. Picture this: a three-time champion, an all-star, and a Defensive Player of the Year all rolled into one. That's exactly what Indiana got when they signed Natasha Howard.
This was the most improved team from the beginning of the season to the end of the season in terms of the Indiana Fever. I think the signing of Natasha Howard is huge. She fits the system beautifully. She is a terrific rim runner, and we know Caitlin Clark is one of the best get-ahead passers in the WNBA.
Now, some folks were skeptical. They wondered if Howard, at 33, still had what it takes to be a game changer. But those doubters clearly haven't been paying attention. Last season with the Dallas Wings, Howard was putting up monster numbers. We're talking 17.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 2.9 assists per game. And she did it while shooting a blistering 45.6% from the field. That's not just good, that's elite.
She's also outstanding in the pick and roll. She is a floor spacer, and she brings experience. The Indiana Fever made the playoffs last year for the first time since 2016, and in that first game, none of their starters had any playoff experience. Natasha Howard has over 50 games of playoff experience, three-time WNBA champion. She fits them beautifully.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Howard isn't just a scoring machine. She's a defensive juggernaut. Remember when she won Defensive Player of the Year back in 2019? Well, she hasn't slowed down one bit. Howard's the kind of player who can lock down the paint and still have the energy to run the floor on fast breaks. It's like having a Swiss Army knife on the court. She can do it all.
Natasha Howard throws it right to... Oh! Anthony Rice's kidney! Oh! Defensive Player of the Year in the WNBA! You should just lock it up! John can't give it to him, and right there is Howard with a block. Another one rejected by Howard.
And let's not forget about her championship pedigree. Howard's got 3 WNBA titles under her belt. She knows what it takes to win when the pressure's on. That kind of experience is priceless, especially for a young team like the Fever. In fact, she has more playoff experience than the entire Fever team combined. You can bet she'll be in Caitlin Clark's ear, sharing all those championship secrets. But wait, there's more. Howard's not just a defensive specialist. She can stretch the floor with her three-point shooting. Are you ready to see what happens when one of the league's best defenders starts draining threes? It's going to open up a whole new world for the Fever's offense. Imagine Aaliyah Boston feasting in the paint while Howard, Clark, and Hull keeps defenders honest on the perimeter. It's a nightmare scenario for opposing teams.
They have certainly improved by signing Howard. She, to me, fits their system beautifully as a rim-running stretch four. We know Caitlin Clark is the best get-ahead passer in the WNBA right now. Howard will run the floor. Howard is outstanding in the pick and roll. We saw how good she was doing that when she was in Seattle. What else does she bring? A massive amount of experience.
Speaking of Boston, Howard's presence is going to be huge for her development. Boston's already a force to be reckoned with, but now she's got a veteran mentor to learn from. The two of them together? That's a front court that's going to give the rest of the league sleepless nights. But the real magic of this signing is how it transforms the entire Fever team. Howard isn't just filling a need. She's changing the whole identity of this squad. With her on the court, Indiana isn't just a team with a bright future. They're a team that's ready to win now.
So remember, all the conversation for Indiana going into the playoffs last year, first time they'd made it since 2016, was how little playoff experience they had. You see, now they have 33 games. In that first playoff game against the Connecticut Sun this past season, they had 0 playoff experience from their starting 5. Howard brings playoff experience. She's won 3 championships with both Minnesota and Seattle. So to me, she's a huge, huge piece for them.
Just when you thought the Fever were done making moves, they pulled off a trade that left the WNBA world stunned. Picture this. Nalissa Smith, once considered the future of Indiana's front court, suddenly on her way out along with the 8th pick in the 2025 draft. Fans were confused. What were they thinking? Then the other shoe dropped. In return, the Fever got Sophie Cunningham and the 19th pick. But was it worth it? let's talk about Cunningham. She's not just a player, she's a force of nature on the court. A versatile wing who can score, defend, and light it up from beyond the arc. Are you ready for this? Cunningham shot a blistering 37.8% from three-point range last season. That's the kind of sharpshooting that can turn a good team into a great one.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And do
God.
do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day, for real.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Cunningham isn't just about putting points on the board. She's known as an enforcer, the kind of player who makes opponents think twice before driving to the basket. Remember how we said the Fever needed someone who could rough it up in the paint? Well, they just got her. Now, imagine Cunningham and Howard on the court together. Suddenly, no one's pushing the Fever around anymore. It's like Indiana went from being the nice kid on the playground to the one everyone's a little scared of. And that's exactly what they needed.
What is that? It might not be from you, but like what is it feels it's not hate, but is it jealousy? Is it envy? Is it just like, what is it?
Yeah, I see both sides. I'm not an extremist in any way.
Yeah.
And so I like to see both sides of each party. I think when you have older people in the league, they work their tails off and they didn't get the recognition. They don't get paid millions of dollars before they even step on the court. You know what I mean? And for them, it's all about, okay, well, what are your stats? What are you doing for the actual game? Like, while you're playing.
Yeah.
And then for them.
But let's not forget about the numbers. Cunningham averaged 8.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.0 assists per game last season. Those might not jump off the page at first glance, but they tell a story of a player who can do a little bit of everything. And that's exactly what the Fever were looking for.
This is amazing for women's basketball. This is amazing for women's sports in general. You have so many people, so many new and fresh eyes on our sport that maybe they're a little uneducated and maybe they kind of stir the pot a little bit. And so I get that. But for that class to come in, you have her.
Now, some folks might be scratching their heads about giving up Smith in that 8th pick. But here's the thing. Smith had a down year in 2024, barely seeing action in the final games of the year. And with Howard's arrival, there was a bit of a logjam at the forward position. Sometimes you have to give up something good to get something great. And great is exactly what the Fever are getting. This trade isn't just about talent. It's about changing the entire culture of the team. The Fever are sending a message loud and clear. They're not here to just compete. They're here to win. And they're willing to make bold moves to make it happen.
I give a big old clap to the rookie class. I think that's a lot to deal with when you're at that age and you have that many eyes on you. But I think they've done a great job in the league as well. I think the physicality and all that they're going to get used to. But I think especially Caitlin Clark, she's been killing it. And I'm a huge fan, and I never say that. But I think it's fun what she's doing. When it comes to viewership, man, I think a lot of people have a lot to learn about our league. But I think that's a really fun thing. And if you have really anything negative to say about all the viewership and everything that this rookie class is doing, I just think that you're not capitalizing on it and you might be a little jealous. So for me, I'm all for it. I'm about it. I love all this stuff.
So what does this mean for the Fever's championship chances? Well, let's just say things are looking up. Way up. With Clark running the show, Boston dominating the paint, Howard bringing that championship experience, and now Cunningham adding toughness and versatility, Indiana's suddenly looking like a team that can beat you in a whole lot of ways. With all these new faces joining the Fever, you might be wondering about the glue that's held this team together through thick and thin. Well, let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana's longtime star and the heart and soul of this squad. She was a free agent, and teams across the league were circling like sharks, ready to snatch her up. The Fever's transformation meant nothing if they lost their veteran leader.
First of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing Kelsey how important she is to the Indiana Fever.
I appreciate
it. Yeah. So everything about Kelsey Mitchell is core, right? Core values, her core basketball, everything about her is what we're about. And so there was no way she was going anywhere else but the Indiana Fever. So this is a great day for our franchise. It starts with her. Her legacy continues in an Indiana jersey, and we're off to the races now. So.
But Mitchell had a big decision to make. Stay with the team that drafted her or chase success elsewhere? Here's where it gets good. Mitchell didn't just re-sign. She made a statement that's got Fever fans buzzing with excitement. Picture this. Mitchell's standing at the podium, a big smile on her face as she says,
Anything you want to say?
Pressure, no pressure. I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Indiana's been my second home since I went pro. So this is the only city I know. And so to see you guys open your arms up to me, I kind of remember every employee I run into. Whether you're a janitor, camera person, I like to be that person. And so that was a big part of me coming back because I got a chance to meet really great people.
Can you feel the energy in that room? The connection between Mitchell and the fans? The excitement about teaming up with Clark? It's electric.
Then I met one of the greatest people in the world, Caitlin Clark, who just ran the basketball world. So I think together we hope to make you guys proud. We hope to make you guys feel like you're a part of our success and our journey. And I'm here. Let's do this.
Now let's talk numbers for a second. Last season, Mitchell was on fire. She averaged 19.2 points per game, shot 46.8% from the field, and nailed 40.2% of her three-pointers. Those aren't just good numbers, they're career best numbers. And you know what? I've got a feeling she's just getting started. But Mitchell's return isn't just about keeping a star player. It's about believing in the Fever's vision. It's about unfinished business. Remember when the Fever made the playoffs last year? Well, Mitchell's not satisfied with just making an appearance. She's here to win it all.
I'm a Fever girl again. I'm a Fever girl. I'm excited. Kind of missed this court. Yeah, I'm a Fever girl again. A lot of went into this decision based on what I needed for myself and obviously for my family and my friends. And Indy is a second home, so I thought I'd give this thing a go.
And the Fever's front office. They knew exactly how important Mitchell was to their championship dreams. Just listen to what President Kelly Krauskopf had to say. Kelsey has been a foundation of our franchise for many years, and we are thrilled to see her return to the Fever. That's not just a statement. That's a declaration of intent. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Fever. You've got Mitchell, Clark, Howard, Boston, and Cunningham all on the same team, with Hull and Berger coming off the bench. That's not just a lineup. That's a wrecking crew that's going to give opposing coaches nightmares.
Just figure out where this program's going, what we're trying to accomplish. And based on, the way in which I like to see myself playing, I could do that with people like Caitlin, people like AB, people like Liz. The list goes on with Lexi Hall, Grace Berger. So I'm excited about the group we have. I get to play alongside some really great people. So here's to being a Fever girl.
But hold on to your seats because the Fever might not be done yet. There's still cap space left and rumors are flying. What if I told you they might have room for one more near-max player? Someone who could take this team from contenders to favorites. Are you ready for the twist? Mitchell's career-best season last year might just be the beginning. Word is she's been working on something special this offseason, something that's got her teammates buzzing. What could it be? A new shooting technique? Improved ball handling skills? Whatever it is, it's clear that Mitchell's not resting on her laurels. She's hungry for more.
To the fans, I think you guys are a big part of my decision, a part of Indiana being home for me. The fans have also grown to be, family for me. So knowing what the atmosphere feels like, some of the love that was poured into me down the stretch of last year, I feel great about it. So I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful.
The Indiana Fever aren't just building a team. They're creating a dynasty right before our eyes. From rock bottom to the top of the mountain in just 2 years? That's not a turnaround. That's a basketball revolution. With Caitlin Clark leading the charge, supported by a star-studded cast of Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever are primed to take the WNBA by storm. The rest of the league better watch out because Indiana's coming in hot. And guess what? They might not be done yet. With cap space still available, Could another big name be on the horizon? One thing's for sure, the Fever are no longer the underdogs. They're the team to beat. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.